So if you're trying to start a coffee cart business, here are the top 3 things to consider before launching. Hey folks, welcome back to Green Joe Coffee School. My name is Vincent and I help people get started in the mobile coffee industry. Now I do that through a multitude of different ways. We have ebooks and courses and consultation. I'll put the link down in the comments below and let you check that out. Today's video, what I wanted to discuss was some of the things that you really need to consider if you're trying to get into the coffee cart business. The first thing to consider is how much money are you going to make? And that's number one, right? How much profit is there? When I first got into the business, the way that I was looking at profitability, I would add up my cost of goods and then I would subtract that from how much I was going to sell the cup of coffee for. Now, the last time we ran some numbers for a 16-ounce cup of coffee, I'll share those with you here, but I would really encourage you to run your own numbers and calculate how much they're going to cost you. The cups, lids, and sleeves cost 17 cents. The milk came in at 27 cents for 12 ounces. If you're doing a 16-ounce drink, you still got to add espresso, syrup, and there's a little bit of froth. So I base it on 12 ounces. The syrup cost me 25 cents. The espresso shots cost 31 cents, and that's at $10 a bag. Now, when you add all that up, it comes out to $1 per cup. Conveniently, you sell a 16 ounce for about $5. You might be able to get $5.50 or $6 wherever you're located, and so that's going to give me at $5 a cup. It's going to give me $4 of profit. So in order to make $200, I need to sell about 50 of those. Now that's one way of making profit on a coffee cart, but another way of making money on a coffee cart is by catering. Catering is really nice because you can charge by the hour. Here's an example of that. I can call up like a local mortgage company, the companies that do loans and stuff, and they usually have small office of about 5 to 10 people, and see if they want me to serve them coffee in the morning for their office. Now that would take me about an hour to do. It would probably be about 10 cups of coffee, but I can charge about $150 for that. And so it takes me a total of maybe 2 hours of work and I make $150, but it only costs, for 10 cups of coffee, it only costs me roughly $10. And so if you book 2 of those a day, well, now you have $300, which is fairly reasonable to do. And so now you have $300, but you've only spent $20 on cost of goods. Consider that when you're looking into coffee carting. There's definitely the by the cup profit that you can make, but there's also the by the hour profit, and those can actually be a lot more profitable than by the cup. Okay, so the second thing to consider is how much is it going to cost for me to start this thing, right? Some of that is based upon your code and regulations, and I've read so many code and regulations at this point, hundreds. And I could tell you every county is different. Now, there's some big things, some big hurdles that you're going to have to talk with your health inspector and find out about. The first thing is whether or not they're going to force you to have a triple sink on your cart. If you can, preferably, you can just wash your dishes at your commissary. That would be the way to do it. But some code and regs don't allow for that. Another hurdle that I would look into is the minimum tank size. Sometimes there's some pretty ridiculous tank size that they want you to have. Usually your gray tank has to be a little bit larger than your fresh, 15% to be precise. So if you're using a 5-gallon water dispenser, then you would want a 7-gallon gray tank. But all that being said, the table itself, depending on how you do it, and I have a whole bunch of different ways to do it. I would say easily it's going to be less than $1,000. I don't see why you should spend more than $1,000 on building the cart itself out. The equipment, and that one, the equipment's a little bit more detailed, so I'm going to refer you to the coffee cart ebook for that one. But the equipment is going to cost, depending on your menu and depending on if you buy new or used, anywhere between, I would say, $1,000 to $3,000. And then your first round of supplies cost about $500. So on the bottom end, we're looking, $2,000, and on the upper end, all the way up to, I'd say, $5,000. Okay, and then the last thing to consider is how you're going to transport the thing. How are you going to get this dang thing around, right? So there's a couple different tools for that. The first is you can get a trailer, like a small trailer. I was at Lowe's the other day. I saw small landscaping trailers with the ones with the ramps. Those were running for $900. You can also look at Harbor Freight has some small trailers. Theirs, you got to put them together yourself, and those cost about $400. They just don't have the ramp. Another idea is, especially if you're kind of coming in from low startup, is consider just renting a trailer. I rented a motorcycle trailer from U-Haul for $16. If your cart is small enough to use a wheelchair carrier on your car, those wheelchair carriers, they can hold 500 pounds, so that's easily enough to hold your cart. And they come in pretty big sizes. I was looking at the one at Harbor Freight, and theirs is 27 inches in depth by 47 inches in length. So that'll fit a pretty decent sized cart. Okay, and so the last question is, should you start a coffee cart? Now, for that one, that's up to you. That just kind of depends on what you want out of your life. I was a paramedic and military before this. So unfortunately for me, I have the perspective that life is short, and I often look at things from the side of, if I don't do this, am I going to regret it? My biggest thing as a consultant, or for someone that's kind of done this before and is leading the way for someone else, is to just get them into profitable businesses. And what I mean by profit is a high income and low overhead. Carts are nice because they're a cash-based business. You can operate them on your time, on the weekends, or if you do decide to do the catering thing, then it's nice because you know exactly when the catering event is going to occur and you know exactly how much money you're going to make. So for folks that may not have very strong resources, like single parents or military spouses, it's a really good option because it allows you to be able to kind of delegate your time a little bit more efficiently. The other nice thing about carts is they're a great stepping stone into something bigger, whether or not that's a coffee shop or a truck or a trailer. They give you experience. They let you start building your income. They start your business earlier so that if you do decide to go down the funding route, you have some history behind your business. So they're a really good stepping stone for that reason. But at the end of the day, it's really up to you. If you do decide to go down that route, my name is Vincent. Love to help you out. Check out the website, Green Joe Coffee School. We have a good ebook on how to build out coffee carts. If this has been useful to you, hit a like. If you would like to see more, feel free to subscribe. Otherwise than that, I will catch you guys later.